How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Battlefield 4 on the PC, and today's commentary topic is about the recent news that Microsoft has been paying for positive influence on YouTube. So let's get into it. So first off, the advertising campaign was with Machinima, so Microsoft had an agreement with Machinima, and basically it was that they would get an extra $3 for every 1,000 views on a video with 30 seconds at least of gameplay of an Xbox One game, and basically they couldn't say anything negative about it, and they just had to have those 30 seconds and explain that they were playing on the Xbox One. That was it, and then they could get an extra $3 per 1,000, and I think there was a certain cap that they'd get to, so they weren't spending a lot of money, but you could get an extra couple of dollars for making a video like this. So this got the YouTube community just getting really mad pretty much at Machinima and Xbox and anyone who had anything to do with this making a video or something like that. But the main reason you should be mad at something like this is not for the fact people are getting paid for talking about the Xbox One. That's just how advertising works, and obviously companies need to find a way to get to our audience more, because we do live pretty much on the internet, and it's harder for advertising to get to us, especially if you're using something like AdBlock or something like that. You pretty much don't see ads, so how are they meant to, put new content in front of your face? And this is the way it's going to go. I mean, obviously with more and more people using AdBlock, there's going to have to be a new way for YouTube to make money, and obviously in-video sponsorship is what's going to do it. Now, no one should really have a problem with someone if they're partnered with Machinima and they make an Xbox One video and they're making a little extra money, if they actually enjoy the console and they're not lying just so they can get some extra money, which I don't think most people would do because they wouldn't actually have an Xbox One console to begin with. But the problem is people need to indicate that they were paid for talking about this Xbox One or showing this gameplay or anything like that, because that'll change the people's opinion on what was said in the video. So take, for example, someone said, oh, the Xbox One's really great, you should buy it, and if you really trust this YouTuber, you might go and buy one, but this person was being paid to technically say that. So that's where it gets a bit iffy, and why YouTubers need to disclose if they're being paid for saying certain things, or same with review copies, whether they're being given a free game or a free console or whatever it is. Like for an example, if EA decided to come to me and saw that I was interested in the new game Titanfall that's coming out soon, and they said they were able to get me a review copy, and I took them up on that offer, I should disclose that I received the game for free somewhere in the description or in the video itself, because that'll change people's opinions on what I said about the game. Now, even though I might really like that game, the problem is I didn't actually pay any money for it. It was given to me for free, so therefore that might change people's opinions on what I thought of the game, because I didn't have to fork out any of my own money. But with that being said, I have never received any review copies of games at all. I've paid for them all, and I've already pre-ordered Titanfall, so when you see me making a video about a game, you know I've purchased that game. But some larger companies, obviously like IGN and Machinima, they have sent review copies. There's only a few companies that don't tend to send out review copies, and I think one of them is Activision. So if you see any reviews for like Call of Duty or stuff like that, those aren't, sent out review copies, because they don't do that for some unknown reason. So the problem with this campaign was that according to US law, content creators that participated in this should have disclosed that they were involved in this campaign, and that happened. I think they changed that law late last year or middle of last year or something like that. So they should have technically said that, but the problem was in the contract it said that the YouTube partners were told not to disclose anything to their audience. So they were allowed to make this video and they couldn't say anything negative, but they weren't able to say that they were going to make money for making this video, which they were meant to, but according to the agreement they weren't. So it was kind of a problem, and if people did want to disclose it, they probably wouldn't have got their money to begin with. So this is where people have got a bit confused, and they're thinking you're meant to disclose this information and what actually has happened, but Microsoft has come out and said that they had nothing to do with the wording in the contract from that part, so pretty much the blame game's being turned completely onto Machinima for this. And there's been an update to this story, and Microsoft has actually said that they've told Machinima that they can put in a description that this was part of paid advertising on these YouTube videos, and I honestly don't think we're going to see too much of this happen in future, mainly because of how big this backlash is, because obviously Microsoft was paying a small amount of money to get some positive influence, or some positive remarks about the Xbox One, because they want to get more sales because of all the bad stuff that happened to them last year. But now they're getting even worse because people see that they were trying to do it illegally when technically they weren't. I think probably someone at Machinima made a mistake and didn't put that in there, or maybe they did it on purpose. I'm not too sure. Obviously I don't work for Machinima, but it would be very interesting to see what kind of stuff happens in future with this, whether we're going to see more campaigns like this, or whether people are going to see through them a lot easier, as well as people just disclosing that they're part of a campaign like this. Anyway, this brings me out of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about paid advertising with YouTubers or anything like that, put it down below, and if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.